We've all heard of Satan, and we've all seen upside down crosses on artists from the likes of Lil Uzi, Playboy Carti, and we've seen pentagrams from the likes of the heavy metal, thrash metal bands, crosses, and the devil seen by these pictures here. But what actually is Satanism? As you can see about the candle, I've got my lamp here, and we are going to look at rituals. So in 1966, a man called Anton LaVey started the Church of Satan. Now back in the day, Satanism, devil worship, used to be a word that was thrown about as an insult to people who objected or stood against Christianity and didn't believe in God. Atheists. So we'll fast forward a few years to 1972, where Anton LaVey again comes on the scene with a book, Satan Rituals. Now in this book he goes over satanic rituals, and with it being a long time ago when Satanism, like I said before, 1966, was just a word to go against people who didn't believe in God. Now it's getting a bit of a rise and becoming a religion. So people didn't like that. So it was used as by the artists I show you there, who were Black Sabbath of the 70s, and Anthrax and Judas Priest were 70s, 80s and 90s. So it was used as a shock factor. They didn't believe in, well, everyone believed in Satan, but they didn't follow him. He wasn't their leader as God or Jesus would be to a Christian. But it had that kind of cult following, shameful kind of aura around it if you said you were a satanic believer. Now, Anton LaVey viewed Satan as a historic figure towards the earth and the values earth holds. Now, in 2023, like I showed there with Lil Uzi and Playboy Carti, people are more open about following Satanism in 2023 than they were back when it first became a thing in 1972. So basically, Satan doesn't do devil worships and you don't sacrifice animals or children. I thought they did, but it turns out they actually don't. And he's a big believer on people make mistakes, and that's fine. You don't have to apologise or anything, you just live and you learn, which I didn't know was the thing, but it is. I'm not one before it's anything says, just reading all the facts. But I would never do a ritual because you don't know what you're summoning. But this book, the Satan Rituals, introduced how to do these devil worship kind of practices, and they've also become a lot more common now with ghost TV shows. Big fan of Ghost Adventures, and there's a clip I'm about to show which shows why I would never ever do a ritual, because I can't believe what they've caught in this. But the first part I'm about to show here is a guy, and as you can see, he's stood up talking about, and he's conducting this summoning ceremony, it's called. And I'll play a bit here where there's a moth flying through the flames.
Boom. It's still alive.
It's going to every
Every candle. Now that same moth is flying to each lit candle in sequential order, passing through the flames without catching on fire or dying.
I think it's your job to look in the mirror.
Someone's telling me not to.
Now, going back to what I said earlier about Satan being an earthly value and a historic figure in that, I think, I don't know, I might just be connecting dots that don't need connecting and just making stuff up, but with the earth and all animals being in a cycle, then we all hold the same energy. I believe in that. There's an energy here, and we are all coming from the same energy because we all use natural resources to survive and make things and everything. So there's energy in everything. So if he's conducting this ceremony, which usually demonic, and then this moth starts acting quite unusual, then could that be a link between Satan's earthly values and this moth? Don't know, it's just a thought. But it starts to get weird now. So it turns out they've done it wrong. As Billy says, we didn't conduct it correctly, we said the names wrong, and they go into it, but I won't show that bit because it's what they capture after that, which is the interesting part. So Zach goes on to say, if you don't do a ritual properly, then you can bring anything through. Since it was a summoning ceremony, you don't know what you're summoning if you've done it incorrectly, which is why I've mentioned satanic rituals. So they believe they've brought some kind of demonic entity through into our realm, you can call it, and they start capturing some compelling evidence towards this. Now this little clip I'm showing here is a thermal image camera that they use, which shows entities that we can't see, but it highlights their stature. And as you can see, next to the person who conducted the ceremony, there's someone stood next to him. And he also said, there's someone to my left. And as you can see, that is to his left. But not the strangest. So now is the bit that goes back to my whole channel, my beyond belief. Just watch this and listen.
We are all totally unprepared for what is about to be the most terrifying audio evidence we have ever collected.
What name are you connected to? Who brought you here?
What the? Okay. Are you kidding me right now?
What was that?
Never heard that. Never.
What brought you here?
I've never heard that.
I have never in my life heard anything like that. Never.
Who brought you here?
Dude.
What the?
Oh, good, guys. That's
What on earth? No, if that was me, I'd have a right nice one, turn that off, put it in my pocket, gone into the base of the kitchen, wherever it was that they had all the gear, pack it all up, zip it, put it in the van, and shoot. That'd have made me jump out my skin. Now, it's the fact how they were all stood there, and there's no noise, and that thing that screamed or whatever it was ridiculously loud, but there was nothing in their head, nothing. When people are walking through and they hear like a little whisper behind them, nothing, just a scream through that EVP. Oh man. So rituals are a thing to not do if you do not know what you're doing. They can open any portal to any world. Look at the Ouija boards, everyone knows Ouija boards. So the Ouija board is something you don't do unless you're accompanied by professionals. And they tell you what to do and how to react if anything happens and how to shut it down make sure nothing comes through and it's done properly. A scary one today. And if you like this video, please click on the one down here, stay with us, stick on the channel, leave us a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I am on the hunt for things beyond my belief.